by the name of Sir Ivaine, who is a member of the Knights of the Round Table, and you also were introduced to this character, the Black Knight, who lives out in this wooded area, and there's a castle that he returns to, and a theme developed at the end of the story as Sir Ivaine was trying to prove himself worthy, and he decides to go out alone to capture and kill the Black Knight. The theme that developed was that really he didn't really think this through at all. He made kind of a poor choice. So when trying to really prove yourself to be worthy, maybe it's okay if you have the help of others. Kind of reminds me of like that there's no I in team. But let's take a look at some of these questions that you guys had to answer, and let's begin right here with question 1. I know this is a part A, part B question, and it is asking in paragraph 7, Sir Kay says that Sir Ivaine is more polite than brave. Which statement below describes how Sir Ivaine tries to show that Sir Kay is wrong? So they've made this comment about Ivaine being just very polite but not very brave. And Ivaine really wants to prove that wrong. So is he wanting to prove that he can be both kind-hearted and polite? Not really. He's trying to prove that he is brave. He wants to prove that he can defeat the Black Knight by himself. B makes sense. Let's look at the others. Sir Ivaine wants to prove that he can be brave after a good meal of venison. Sir Kay kind of makes this statement that everyone feels like they can be brave after eating this great, wonderful meal. But that's not really how Sir Ivaine wants to prove himself brave. Let's look at D. Sir Ivaine wants to prove that he can lead the company of knights. He doesn't ask permission to lead the company of knights. He actually goes on and does it without them. So the correct answer, the best choice, is going to be B, that he can defeat the Black Knight by himself. Let's look at part B. Which statement below supports that answer in part A? Among Arthur's Knights of the Round Table was one who was a mixture of good and bad, as indeed most people are. That doesn't support that he wants to defeat the Black Knight by himself. I have heard of this man, said the king, and often have thought of sending someone to punish him. That kind of goes more along with this, that company or that group of knights that are going to go along to punish the Black Knight. So that one doesn't make any sense. C. Sir Kay, I crave your permission to set forth tomorrow to slay this pest in the land. Slay meaning to defeat. C is actually the correct answer. That one goes right along with wanting to defeat the Black Knight by himself. This is Sir Ivaine speaking, and he is talking directly to Sir Kay, and he is asking permission to go on his own tomorrow to slay this Black Knight. Let's move right along. Question number 3. The word was displeased. Hazel. They're asking you what the prefix dis or dis means in the word displeased. I know what pleased means, that you're like happy or satisfied with something. So displeased, if Sir Ivaine was displeased, he thought the adventure should be his alone, then that means that he is unhappy. So when we look, dis means be not. He is not pleased. Question number 3. For you guys, I think it was probably question number 4. Reread paragraph 13. How is Sir Ivaine's response to the king's plan important to the theme of the story? Wow. Does it show that he thought the knights named by the king were cowardly? Does it show that he thought the Black Knight could be defeated quickly and easily? Does it show that he did not think that evil deeds should go unpunished? Or does it show that he did not think carefully about what he was about to do? Well, when we look back at paragraph 13, that's where Sir Ivaine is displeased. He thought the adventure should be his alone. So he rose in the middle of the night and stole away unattended, meaning he took off by himself, determined to go in advance of the others and kill the Black Knight. It did not occur to him that in proving himself brave, he was also proving himself disobedient. So I think that relates to the theme of the story because he's not thinking this through about this decision that he is making. So the correct answer is D. Last question. We have to read this sentence from paragraph 20. Then Sir Ivaine realized what his recklessness had cost him. Which three statements best describe how the consequences of Sir Ivaine's actions support a story theme? Okay, so we know that at the end of the story, he ends up like basically trapped in the castle alone, and he just killed the Black Knight. So he's probably not in a really good position to protect himself because he's going to have a lot of angry people now, and he is trapped in there who are probably going to want to do something to him. So let's look. Sir Ivaine had learned how to win a fight. I don't know if that ties back to the recklessness and what it cost him. Sir Ivaine needed to find a new company of knights. I don't know if he's going to have the opportunity to do that. We'll see. Maybe if he gets out of that castle. We're talking about what that recklessness, what effect did that have on him? What did that cost him? Sir Ivaine had shown the king he was disobedient. Yeah, by going and doing this alone, he's definitely showing the king that he's disobedient, so C is correct. Let's look at D. Sir Ivaine needed to prove himself again to the king. Oh, he might need to, but I don't even know. I don't think that might not even happen. Sir Ivaine had put his life in great danger. I would say that E is most certainly correct. That is one of the things that his recklessness or that poor decision had cost him. Sir Ivaine would be embarrassed if he returned home. He might be, but let's see if there's a better answer. We know we have to have 3. So far, I think we have a good solid 2. Let's look. Sir Ivaine would have little hope of escape. I think if we were choosing a better answer out of these 2, G would be the better of the 2. So now we have all 3. So that wraps up the questions. In the next part of this video, I'm just going to introduce you guys to those practice FSA passages that you will be reading today. FSA practice passages that you're going to read today. And this is titled Kira Kira. And you have a short story about 2 sisters. And the younger sister is kind of starting to learn like first words. Her older sister helps her with a lot of things. They're good friends. They do a lot together. And they don't live over in Japan. It talks about how Kira Kira was, they were learning words that meant glittering in Japanese, but they don't live in Japan. They actually live in Iowa, and they live near a cornfield. And there's something kind of crazy that happens later on. They go out into the cornfield and they're looking up at the sky, and they're talking and having fun, and then all of a sudden things kind of turn sort of strange, and this dog runs up growling and snarling, and it's scary. So they have to like basically scare the dog off, and some other things happen, and basically the story ends that both girls are okay, but she ends by reading an entry from her sister's diary. So this is the first passage, and then you have some questions, and then we're going to quickly take a look at the second one titled Jerry the Beaver. A beaver who is actually kind of greedy. He tries to keep a lot of the fish to himself. So the other animals are kind of like, well, we don't really care for Jerry that much because he's kind of the fish hog here. And they're going to throw a party, and they don't invite Jerry because he's basically sitting at home eating all the fish. Well, something happens, some changes occur, and at the end, everybody kind of is happy, and so is Jerry. So you're going to read this text, find out what happens at the end, think about the theme in this story or the lesson that maybe the characters learn. Again, you're learning the theme through like Jerry's experiences and through Kira's as you read both of these stories. So you will read both of these, then you have some multiple choice questions, and then on Thursday, we'll go through these texts and these questions together. Let me know if you need anything or you have any questions about either of these stories.